Yeah, but now we are. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Georgette Truen. I am the co-host for Real Talk with Miss G, and also I work for the law office of Vincent Davis. And my guest today, is going to share a bit of her story. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Angel. I am the mother of all of my children were removed from proven false allegations that are found to be untrue, and um, they've continued to been separated from the family, from their mother, since April 9th, 2021, and counting. And the the caseworkers, the social workers have harmful predictions of the future. Um, Even though doctors have already, confirmed that, it's unlikely for these events to happen. And I've even, hired a psychic, but they have harmful predictions of the future and have not allowed me to be reunited with my children. My children have been severely injured in many different ways while in CPS care, from getting infections to lacerations to scars and bruises. And I have been threatened if those injuries are reported, as my caseworkers have informed me that bruises, lacerations, scars, filth stains, all of that is not considered an injury when it happens in CPS care. There's also my teenager went 225 days without being able to see properly. The caseworker lost his glasses and did not replace it. I had to constantly beg. I had to get other people to Childline. Just a couple days ago, they finally allowed him to see the school board. I said that, in my opinion and many other people's opinions, that's medical neglect. They told me I'm not getting my kids back because I accused them of medical neglect, which is not true.
You mean to tell me the social worker told you that when a child is injured in their custody is not considered neglect?
Correct.
And okay. However, it's considered neglect when you take your child to the hospital, right?
Oh, yes. They've said that too. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Did you record any of this at all?
No, I am not allowed to record any of it, but it's all documented. My son has gone 225 days without glasses. There's pictures of the lacerations, the scars, the injuries, the filth stains. They have the pictures. I have the pictures. And no one is doing anything about it. No one's doing anything about it. They won't even document it. They said they can't tell me what happened to him when it happened because it was their policy. That is not their policy. They've lied to my family about their policy. They're saying they can't tell me how it happened now because it's old. And I have documentation saying that they have threatened to re-traumatize the children if I do, like, if I just exercise any human rights. Believe it or not, we are banned from practicing our Christian religion together as a family because it
Oh my God.
conflicts with the caseworkers' religious beliefs on Christianity, and they called me a fake Christian. I was supposed to have a visit today. The children did not, my children do not show up to court-ordered visits. They won medical rights to the children based off of false allegations, and I told the caseworker, I believe, my child to have craniosynostosis because I saw the suture and I would like him to be checked and tested. And she told the courts that I'm delusional and I think a haircut and nothing except a haircut magically changed my son's head shape. The courts asked her, are you sure you didn't misunderstand her? She said, oh, no, nothing else but a haircut. After court, I asked her, I said, why would you say that when my belief is craniosynostosis? And she said, oh, because the doctor has the same belief as you. I couldn't mention craniosynostosis and your daughter has it. And they've been lying on my daughter's conditions, and it's just been very traumatizing. My daughter has received infections, and vaginal infections, and
How old
my
are your kids, Angel?
I have a 3-year-old who is coming up with mysterious lacerations, bruises, and scars, and he's being emotionally neglected and abused. He's been begging every day to be reunited with his mother, and they call him a liar. In the courtroom, they said he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's only 3 years old. He's not telling the truth. He's really declined. Um, he was put on a weight loss goal. They succeeded. He lost weight. It's very. He was never obese. He was never overweight. It's very sad, the things that I have witnessed. The way how inhumane we are being treated. I comply with everything. Yes, ma'am. I do every request that they demand of me. I've had the school speak very highly of me and many other organizations. We had an FSP plan meeting. They told me to invite as many supports as I can. I invited the schools and different organizations who all spoke extremely highly of me. And they turn around and tell the courts, we don't have the information ready, but mother inappropriately contacted these organizations when these organizations are evidence and proof that is not true. They're saying I'm non-compliant with this place and that place, and I have letters from these organizations saying that has never been true. But that's the reason why my children are gone. They have told many different organizations and professionals that I never abused and neglected my children. But because of their predictions of the future, I am extremely abusive and neglectful to them.
How is that neglectful and abusive? I still don't understand what you've done.
Yes, that's what I've been trying to figure out. The lawyers have been trying to figure out. Organizations have been trying to figure out. My kids were removed from false allegations. They've been severely injured in CPS care. CPS said they're not injuries when it happens in their care. And
Well, CPS is full of shit. Excuse my French. All right? They're full of shit. So I know you can't say it, but I'll say it. I'm Christian too, but let me tell you something. My mouth, I mean, honestly, I speak my mind because the injustice that's happening in this world. I have families whose kids are taken from them because they're Christian. They're Christian and the kids are taken from them because they're Christian. And an atheist is the one that made the false reports against them, telling CPS that they forced the children to go to church. Children are not forced to go to church because they go to my church. I'm their Sunday school teacher. They love me. You understand? They're not forced. They love it.
correct.
And
Yes,
yet kids. Yeah.
my kids loved it. They just want to go outside again on the nature healing spiritual walks, and CPS said no, we shall not exercise our religious beliefs together. They said they are aware, they are making sure the Constitution and its amendments do not apply to me and my family. We have never committed crimes.
I know. No crimes, no drugs, correct?
Correct.
Okay. No priors of anything. Crime.
Correct.
I mean, no priors of anything, basically. So your job was to be a mom, be a wife, and go to church, correct?
Yes.
And work.
Yes.
Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
So that's all you did. Now you took your kids to medical care, am I right?
Correct.
And they deemed you neglectful. But yet your kids is in the custody of CPS and they're being severely neglected, and yet it doesn't consider neglect because they're in the custody of CPS. Whoever told you that is full of shit. And
But
after this show is over, Angel, I'm not joking you. You have made my blood pressure go this high. I want you to call me. I want you to call me. I think I have your number from Grace. I want to speak with you. Do you understand me? And I
yes, thank
want that
you.
social worker's information.
Thank you.
And I want to see what we can do to help you because this is bullshit what they're just telling you. Okay.
Thank you.
We have a case that's a pastor and a wife, his wife, They took his two kids from them, a boy and a girl, a boy and a girl, because in the report they put down that he's Christian. He's too Christian, meaning he has a cross in the house, like a wooden cross, and he talks about God a lot. He's a pastor. He talks about God a lot, but that's his crime. I kid you not. That's his crime. Okay?
Yeah.
That's in Las Vegas, Nevada, by the way.
Yes. I was told, I said, my lawyer's begging, what did she do to abuse and neglect the children? As they told all these organizations, oh, I never abused and neglected the children, but I'm extremely abusive and neglectful because of CPS's harmful predictions of the future, which is actually a threat. And they've said, oh, safety cannot be assured at your house because you can't be around your kids because someone's going to harm you in the future. And I explained to CPS, no one has harmed us since the children have been detained since April 9th of 2021, except CPS.
Yep.
And it's really sad. They are pretending to want to reunite me with my family, and they are doing things to cause further alienation. They're not abiding by the court order. They're I'm sorry. Yeah, they're not abiding by the court order they created, even though they won medical rights due to false allegations on what I think. Because after court was over, I explained Caitlin. I said, Caitlin, that's not what I think, and she told me that she can read my mind. And
Who said she can read your mind? Don't mention any names, but the social worker?
correct.
She told you she can read your mind.
Yes.
See, this is the sad thing about them. Wow. What state is this in?
Pennsylvania.
Mhm. Mhm. So the social worker can read your mind,
Yes, that's what she believes.
and they
And
predict
that's
the future.
yes, and that's why I can't be reunited with my children. And if I make another report to them or another concern, then that's why my kids are still gone, and that's why I will not get them back.
Are the kids in a foster home right now?
I do not know. There were other witnesses besides myself, so I was informed that they will be placed in an unknown, undisclosed, confidential location where no one else will be able to witness the abuse or the weight loss or the problems the kids are expressing.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't process what you're just telling me right now. I don't. I'm lost in words, and I'm not usually lost in words. But this is horrible. It's
Yes, I've been going through this
horrible.
since April. The agency they're placed with, when you call, they say we can't find your child in our system, but they're getting all the money for the child, and they claim that they're providing us with services that they have no evidence of, that they're not providing us with. And I have voicemails. Well, some of the reasons why my kids don't show up to court ordered visits is because the staff false documents the location and the location and city of my child, along with other transportation issues. So they they claim that they're doing this to help the family and to strengthen the family, and no one called CPS on me. I signed up for their supportive services to strengthen my family, and now my family is gone, and not only gone, but they've been injured in many different ways, many different sicknesses and infections, to bruises, lacerations, filth stains, to just severe emotional trauma. And I even have court paperwork where they have threatened to re-traumatize the kids if I don't stay quiet about our concerns.
And that's the thing. They put the parent in fear, and if they report abuse from a foster home, then you are deemed on. They don't want you to have your child because you're concerned to your children, and that happens in the courtroom. That's why I call judges stupid. And I keep telling everyone this: judges are stupid because they see evidence of the truth, they hear the truth, but they still believe the lie that the social workers say. That is the definition of stupid. So what judges do, they have black rope fever, I call it. You know, they sit there, make decisions on families and kids, yet they see that the kids are being harmed. They see that the kids are acting up. Why? The kids are not acting up because you're a bad mother or your husband is a bad dad. The kids are acting up because you stole them from their mom. You stole them from the only one they know.
Yes, I told them.
Not because they're abused, is because if the kids were abused, they would say something. But they didn't. And they're calling the child a liar, right? That's what I heard from you. They're calling your 3-year-old a liar because he's saying the truth.
Yes.
And what does God tell us in the Bible? Not that I want to be, Christian right now, but I'm going to speak my mind as I usually do. Towards the end, what? The lie is going to be the truth and the truth are going to be lies. That's how people see things. Okay? So what is the truth? The truth is a lie to them. But the lie is the truth to them. And that's how it works with these demonic entities all over, whether it's Pennsylvania, whether it's Ohio, whether it's corrupt Los Angeles, California, Monterey Park. I call them the whorehouse because they are. They steal children from good parents because of money. Because of money. That's all it is, money. But yet, the children who are really being abused, you give them to the abuser.
Oh, yes, my children are placed with our abuser's biological family, which has zero relationship to any of my children and me. And they are aware of that. And I feel like there's a lot of pocketing of the money. I gave the organization, money outside of the courts and, even with the courts, because, I've been sued to pay for payments to pay for, the services while the person is just pocketing the money and my children are hurt. And it's more than just filth stains and lacerations and bruises. It's emotional too. And physical. Yeah, it's terrible. The physical injuries. I did mention, I said, some people, consider this kidnapping and saying the children were stolen. And they said, okay, that's a delusion. It's a delusion. And I have not lost medical rights. They pretend to be trying to reunify it, but I think their goal is to, adopt them out, especially since the organization claims that they can't find him in the system. But they, yeah, they're, just cashing checks every month and pocketing it. And the same woman, this is not uncommon in this area. I mean, this wouldn't be the first person where she took a child and, the paperwork says she's mother now. It doesn't even say I'm mother. And she claims I gave birth certificates and social security cards. She has no evidence of that. I didn't. But I mean, this wouldn't be, she got life insurance and cashed out on the death and called up the mother and said, I just cashed out on your child's life insurance. You got a funeral to pay for. And it's it's really sad because the children don't deserve this. Okay, they were taken off of false allegations. They've been hurt, and they can't come home. And I'm stuck knowing if I mention to them my concerns, or if a friend or a family mentions our concerns, the child's going to get another injury, and they're going to document it as mother's delusional. She sees a bruise and a laceration that doesn't exist. Well, doctors and thousands of people, I took pictures in front. I haven't seen my children not one time since they've been detained in CPS care unsupervised. I've only seen them a handful of times because they do not abide by the court order. They keep claiming it's a transportation issue. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and today in December, they do not abide by the court order. Most of the time, my children do not show up to court-ordered visits, and they claim it's a transportation problem, or the staff false documenting the location of my child, or it's always some crazy
They're
issue.
making excuses. They're
Yes,
making
excuses.
Basically, what they're telling your kids, and I guarantee you 100%, and I haven't been wrong, they're telling your kids that you cancel the visit, that you don't have time to see them.
Oh, yes, and that's not true. Yes, I showed up to the visits, and they said that I canceled them. I missed the visits. And that's what they were documenting and saying. And
you didn't tell me that part. I know that's what they do. That's why I call them the whorehouse, right? That's why I call them that. Because nothing about CPS that's legit. Not one person in the CPS freaking office, whether they're court pretenders, they're judges, or whatever, caseworkers, they're all corrupt on all levels of corruption.
Yes,
family
and then
family law court too. Everybody that has power, they misuse their power. Go ahead.
Yes, so I show up and I wait the entire time. They've even played games where they said, we're 5 minutes away, an hour passes by. Oh, it's traffic, and the children never show up, and then they document, I missed the visit, and they don't share the whole truth saying that I missed it because my kids didn't show up. They just say, I missed it, and they tell the kids that I didn't show up, and none of that's true. And I have the evidence. So I was informed to start documenting with the authorities when the children don't show up to visits. So I did that, and they turn around and use that against me, and saying, I'm making false reports, but the evidence is there that the report is not false.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, here's a mother that has no priors, no drugs, no delusion, but yet delusional workers are telling her they know the future, right, of what's going to happen. Okay. And they are telling her that she neglected their children, but yet they're not neglected in their care. When they are neglected, it doesn't mean it's not counted as neglect. When the children, they're saying, the worker is saying, Erin is another co-host. She's a friend of mine. Because she didn't join us, Angel, from the beginning, I want to repeat what you said. So the social worker told her kids being neglected in a foster home is not considered neglect while they're in the care of a CPS. So if they're in the custody of CPS, it means when the kids are neglected, they're not really neglected. It does not count as neglect. I am repeating this. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm trying to convince myself. But then again, I already know they're corrupt. I already know it. I know it. I know they're corrupt.
Yeah, so I'm in grief loss support therapy for the loss of custody of my kids, and I can't get them back until I get the delusions of my child's injuries under control, but the doctors have already confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
The doctors have already confirmed it's not a delusion. These are real lacerations. These are real filth stains. These are real injuries and real bruises. And it's so it's hard because we have these doctors and everybody else, seeing what I see, and then CPS seeing it differently and telling the courts that it's a delusion, and the courts believing CPS, and it it's complicated.
And the court believes CPS. Why? Why did I say judges are stupid people? They see the truth. Evidence of the truth, and they still believe the lies that those demonic entities, social workers, write in reports. They're
Yes.
demonic. They're demonic. Yeah, they're demonic. So basically, I can't process that. I cannot process that.
Yeah, it really breaks my heart that these these things are happening to my children, and look, mommy, look what they're doing to my leg, and I can't help him, and he's hungry, and I just, he's on a weight loss goal, and he has no, and there's
But your child
he
is not
wants
even
water.
overweight. He's not overweight.
Never
Your child
overweight.
is not overweight.
It's not healthy at all. He's not allowed any type of, healthy sugar, no fruits, no smoothies, because it has sugar. So she replaces it with Huggy, and calls that his fruit smoothie. And he's had chronic diarrhea. And I sent a video to the caseworker, and she turned herself into a GI specialist. The GI specialist at the hospital said he needs to be seen because it was red in color and it could be blood. And they said no. They said no. We're doctors. It's Fruit Loops that caused this. They said Fruit Loops caused it, and they never allowed him to be seen. And he was sick for a long time. And he wants a nap, and he tells me how tired he is, and he gets physically restrained. No, he's only 3 years old, and he's going through so much trauma and so much emotional abuse, and he's been begging for his mom, and they say he's a liar. He doesn't want his mom. He's lying. He told them, he said, I'm hungry, I'm scared, I'm thirsty, I'm terrified, I want my mom. They tell him, shut up, you're a liar. I want him in mental health treatment. They will not allow my kids in mental health treatment because when they were in my care, they received wraparound services and mental health treatment, and it's not any logic.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I want to read something to you. That did you know? Um, have you ever tried to record a social worker and they told you cannot record us?
Oh yes, I've been threatened with imprisonment if I didn't delete the video of the social worker because it incriminated them. So it's deleted and it's gone. And the police
Wait,
came to.
no, let me stop you. I'm gonna let you finish, but I want to share something with you. Now, they said that you can't record them. That they would charge you criminally.
Correct.
You did. Okay. Now
Yes.
everybody heard this, right? So let me finish. Okay. They said the social worker told her that they will criminate her if she records them. Okay. Now, the day they signed up to be social workers, the first day that they walked the steps as social workers, okay, I'm going to read something to you, Angel. Are you paying attention? Angel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to read the California Legislative Information Form, okay, from the Child Welfare Services Investigation Department. Section 1 says 16501.9A. A parent or legal guardian may make a video or audio recording of his or her interview or interaction or interactions with a county child protective social worker who is investigating allegations of parental abuse and or neglect. The legislator finds that and declares that nothing in the existing law prevents a parent or legal guardian from making a video or audio recording of his or her interview or interaction with a county child protective services social worker. Part B. A county child protective service social worker participation in an investigation of parental abuse or neglect shall be deemed consent to video or audio recording pursuant to subdivision A. Part C. A county child protective services social worker assigned to a role performing duties that includes assuming the custody of a child or conducting interviews of a child or his or her parents in order to investigate allegation of parental abuse or neglect shall provide notification to a parent or a legal guardian undergoing investigation of parental abuse and or neglect in writing that the parent or legal guardian may make a video or audio recording of his or her interview or interaction with the county child protective service social worker. A copy of the written notification shall be signed by the parent or legal guardian and returned to the county child protective services social worker to acknowledge receipt of a written notification. Now, did you hear what I just read?
Yes.
So that's the law, right? So in actuality, the day they became a social worker is the day they signed the consent of being recorded, either audio or video or both.
Yeah, they won't allow it. They've gotten physical with me. They've actually taken my phone, and I had to buy a new one. Yeah, threatened with imprisonment. It's because it incriminated them, and it's very tragic. They came to my house with a verbal warrant and a verbal court order by an unknown judge with false allegations, and I can't get my kids back. And it's been since April 9th since they've been detained and injured. But they did admit that the children were never injured or neglected in my care. So
wow.
that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now are they? So basically, this is what I tell people all the time. Okay, Angel. They give people false hope for a little bit. It's like giving you breadcrumbs, like a narcissist would give his victim breadcrumbs, right? They say, okay, well, we're working on the reunification part, but yet they're not really working on the reunification part, right? They already had in mind the judge and the workers, the kids are going to be adopted. The first thing they tell a foster piece of crap parent, right? The first thing they tell her, the mother is neglectful, the mother takes drugs, then the foster parents like, oh, I want to adopt and save the kids, right? So they're like,
or is
okay,
it pocketing money?
Yeah, we're going to adopt, we're going to give you adoption papers, and we're going to start on it right now. But meanwhile, in the worker's demonic brain, they say, okay, mom, you got to go do these classes. You got to go do this. You got to go do that. You got to go do that. Well, all along, they're already setting up the adoption process.
Yes, and they actually told the specialist who teaches court-appointed parenting classes, I was a great parent. They have no parenting concerns. I never abused and neglected the children, and they have no parenting concerns. They told the organization and the instructor teaching the parenting classes, they told her that information about me, and but yet they're telling the courts they have huge parenting concerns, but they haven't named not It's all terrible. It's awful, and the children are injured and suffering while people are lining their pockets. Um, we don't deserve this.
You know,
We want to end this, and CPS is fighting hard to terminate my rights, and they already have another woman listed as mother on paperwork, and then they say, "Oh, it's a typo," and they laugh it off. And
wow. It's kind of like they're bullying you using your kids, right? And they're laughing about it. Do you know that in
yes,
court, those idiots, the judges and the court of pretenders and the guardian of litem, they all laugh at the parents? They actually laugh at the parents. Listen to this. There was a mother sitting on the stand testifying. The judge asked her, "Why didn't you call your ex-husband and ask him if the kids are okay?" The mother said, "I did. The ex-husband complained to the social worker, told the social worker, do not let her call me. And the social worker told me, or, at the stand, the lady told her that if you want to check on your kids, you have to go through me." That's at the Monterey Park courthouse, right?
that's what
And
they
the
said. If I
social
want
worker,
to check on the
yeah,
kids, I have to go through them, but they
yeah,
don't. They never answer the phone. My son was in the emergency room. I had no idea. I got a text message from the hospital. My 3-year-old was in the ER. I had no idea he was in the emergency room. So I immediately called the caseworkers. It was during business hours. Nobody was answering. I called the hospital. I said, "Is this an emergency?" My son said, they said, "Obviously, this is an emergency room." I said, "Well, what happened?" I didn't have the PIN number, so they couldn't give me personal information. And then they turn around and tell the courts that I scheduled the ER appointment and all of this psychotic things, which made me lose medical rights.
yep, because they want you to lose medical rights. But listen to this though. You know what they're telling you, you have to go through them. So the mother I'm talking about said that. And you know what the judge told her? "Well, it's clear to me that you're not concerned about the kids." But yet the mother did everything possible to know how her kids are doing. Social workers would not respond to her. Several emails were given to the judge proving that the mother did everything in her power to check on her kids with the social worker per the social worker's request. And you know, the judge said is irrelevant. This information, that's evidence, is irrelevant because the judge, with her little brain, believes a lie. Okay.
Oh,
So that's
yes.
where our tax dollars are going, is to pay them for stealing our life.
Yes, and when they first took the kids away, they never followed their dependency flow process, and it was the first court date was in front of a hearing officer who was like, "That's it, because the kids are truant, you've lost." And I'm just like, I told her, I said that I have the proof, I have the report cards. Here's the perfect attendance awards. She said, "It's hearsay. You're making it up." Now CYS
Hearsay
has
with the report cards, with the letter from the school, is hearsay.
yes,
Do you guys hear
yes,
this? See, this is
yes,
why. Okay, so check this out. This is why. This is why we're in this shit, right? It's hearsay. It's hearsay when it's writing, when there's evidence, when there's proof, right? That shows the social worker as liars. Okay? When they shows the social worker as liars, right? All of a sudden, this is not evidence. It's not evidence. It's hearsay. But yet,
correct.
the abuser party has custody of the child or children.
Yes,
And the abuser can actually accuse the other party, the mother, of things the mother didn't do without any evidence. And guess what the judge says? "Oh, that's horrible. I can't believe she did that. Wow. The kids are not safe with her." Not once did the judge ask for evidence from the abuser who is accusing the mother of being all that. So they're against women. I'm convinced they're against women. I'm convinced that the system is so possessed by Satan himself that they do everything illegally, everything maliciously, everything that they do is totally illegal. Okay? People don't have rights, but yet we have rights. I had a social worker that said people do not have rights. Basically, the Constitution does not apply to CPS. Are you listening? I just read you apart that they are, you have the right to record them. You have the right to record them. You have the right to record those idiotic, depleted, empty, dark souls. But they don't want to be recorded because a criminal doesn't want to get caught. And that's why the judges side with them. And that's why the judges enables them, because they get away with everything that they do illegally.
Yes, the recording I had of the caseworker, it said,
I have to calm down. I have to take a deep breath, Angel. You have completely, you literally, your story made me inside. I want to literally, go ahead, finish, Angel. Just finish.
yeah, there's a recording of the caseworker saying, well, we know a tick almost killed you. You have late disseminated Lyme disease, Lyme carditis. Your child has been bitten by a tick in our care, and it got infected and left a scar. And we're not allowing him treatment because you gave us PDFs from the CDC.gov on Lyme disease and Lyme disease in children. And we know how sick it can make him. Therefore, we're not getting him tested. And then they turn around and tell the courts, mother's delusional. And the court paper says, even though child has been tested negative, meanwhile, it said, even though it says mother insists that child be tested, even though he tested negative, leaving out the fact that the last time he was tested was years ago in 2018. He was born in 2018. He is only 3 years old. In 2018, a tick almost killed me, and I was left paralyzed. Half my face was paralyzed, Lyme facial palsy. I was in the hospital on IVs for many days. And then when I got out the hospital, I got all of my kids tested. Unfortunately, my oldest was positive. His was caught early, so it doesn't cause lifelong problems and neurological. So leaving out the fact that he was bit in CPS's care, leaving out the fact that he hasn't been tested in years, and all the judge, and I'm muted, so all the judge hears is, oh, mother is crazy, she wants the child to be tested, leaving out the fact that there's a recording, and that's why I was threatened with imprisonment if I didn't delete that recording.
Oh my God. What you mean to tell me you deleted the recording?
Well, there was a sheriff in front of my face with cuffs, and he made me delete it in front of his face. So I abided to for my freedom.
Did you guys hear that? The cops were right in front of her face to make sure that the video is deleted.
And they also CYF's predictions of the future. So I'm a law-abiding citizen. I've never been charged with a crime. They asked, the judge, blah blah blah. So the sheriffs were ordered to take my legal guns into possession and give them to CYF. And CYF is to determine if my license should be revoked or not. They revoked my license. I paid thousands of dollars on top of, and I'll never get that. I mean, that's just money that I spent. That was a hobby of mine that can no longer be a hobby of mine. And it's really, disturbing, and it's unfortunate because, I've had a paid lawyer, and he was like, this is unbelievable. He was like, they don't know the law. He said, I can't believe the children have been, detained. They're not following this rule, that rule. And then CPS just keeps lying, and they know they're lying, and they're like, hey, we lied, and no one's going to stop us. We're going to continue to lie because we're getting away with it. And they have, They have no evidence. They've lied on many different organizations, and people and myself, and it's criminal and it's sad because while the children are in pain, um, others are getting bonuses and putting money in their pockets.
Yep. And you know what's so sad? We know what's so sad is when the judges see a good character in front of them, but they refuse to see it. They see it, but they refuse to admit to it. But what really makes me sad, like worse, is that they actually condone abuse from the abusive party. They actually enable it.
Oh,
Yet you have
yes.
a mother fighting for her kids. You enable abuse at the other side.
Yes, they banned my toddler from his school, which in their handbook in my county, they cannot do so, but they did so because I got a trophy and they said amazing things about me, and I'm president of the policy council and I got awards, that and they turned around and told the courts that that was inappropriate how I communicated with this organization, when the organization is proof that it's not inappropriate, but CYF said it was inappropriate, so it's inappropriate, and I've been
How is
threatened.
that inappropriate? That you got an award, you're involved in the school, everybody loves what you do. How is that inappropriate though?
Because it makes me look good, and that's inappropriate to see.
Right,
Yes.
right. It makes you look good. See, that's why it's inappropriate. But where in their guidelines that shows that this is inappropriate, right? That she cannot have her kids because of that. It says neglect and abuse. You have to have evidence of neglect and abuse, but they say neglect and abuse. Why? Why? Because there's a judge in LA County who is in charge of a adoption agency. Okay, he's in charge of an adoption agency, and the adoption agency adopts kids who are neglected and abused. Now, do you guys see why they always say neglect and abuse? They always say neglect and abuse because they want to adopt the kids. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the law, when the law states neglect and abuse, but yet they're saying it's inappropriate for you to get an award from school and your involvement in the school, right? However,
Yes.
wouldn't it be neglect and abuse if you were sitting outside the street shooting yourself with heroin? I'm giving you an example. Okay, you leave your child on the sidewalk and while you're doing drugs. I would consider that neglect and abuse. Am I crazy? Tell me if I'm not crazy, right? That's neglect and
Yes.
abuse. Now you take your child to the hospital because you're concerned, right? You're involved in the child's school as a mother should, right? But yet, that's inappropriate. Do you see how stupid that sounds? I, and they have what? They're educated? Are you kidding me? They're educated? That's educated mind? That's like a mind on meth. That's a mind on meth. The way they think is like they're on crack cocaine. Whether they're judges, social workers, court pretenders, they're on crack cocaine for thinking like that. Okay? Common sense in a 3-year-old is more than an adult in CPS courthouses,
Yes.
attorneys. A 3-year-old makes more sense than they do. This is
Yes.
ridiculous. I like I said, Angel, I really want to um speak with you. Do you understand me? I really, really want to speak with you
Thank you. Thank you.
after the show because I really want to ask you a little bit more intense questions, and I can't do it on the air. Okay, um, it's personal. Okay, so um,
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
thank you so much.
your story made me say things I usually don't say on air, but I say freaking. I don't, but honestly, today I'm just lost. They're actually protesting right now in Monterey Park courthouse in LA, and they're going to make it nationwide. There is a sign up sheet online that I shared on my Facebook page, Angel, which is under Georgette Truan. So my Facebook page is under my name. Please request an invite, and I will accept your invite. And I want you to sign up. I want you to get as many people in your state to rally to protest. We need our voice heard. We need to share our stories. But your story, Angel, it doesn't shock me. It just makes me boil inside, right? You're a good mom. But for the social worker to tell you she predicts the future and what's going to happen in the future, they're the only threat to society. Social
Yes.
workers, narcissists, sociopathic, individual judges, court pretenders, all these piece of shits are the threats to society. They're the threat to society.
Yes.
The threat to society is not a small business owner. It's not a mother who is striving to make it. It's not a mother who is involved in her children's school. It's not the mother who is taking her child to the hospital. But yet, if you don't take the child to the hospital, they say you neglected your child. So it's kind of you're screwed if you don't, and you're screwed if you do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it goes. If anybody makes a false report on a parent, right away, that's like an immediate removal. Anybody can make a false report. Anyone. Well, hey, let me go make a false report on my cousin because I don't like my cousin. Or let me call social workers on my sister because I'm jealous my sister has kids and I can't have kids. Let me call social workers because, I don't like my friend and, I'm going to have her kids taken from her. And social workers immediately can remove children. Where are the evidence, you pieces of shit? What type of investigation do you conduct? Do you conduct your investigations high on meth or crack cocaine? Because if you're high on meth and crack cocaine, then I can understand. Your mind is screwed. So how exactly do they conduct their investigation? That's been always the question in my mind that lingers in my mind. They don't.
Yes.
They
We
don't.
all have the same opinion. Like, are they on drugs again or high again? They're drinking again, because this doesn't make any logic. They've told all these organizations I'm such a great parent, but yet I'm like, what did I do? I've never had heroin in my system. I've never had these drugs in my system. They know this, and then they tell the courts I'm extremely abusive and neglectful, but yet I never abused and neglected my children, but I'm this way because of their predictions of the future. And my children have been injured in CPS care, but it's not an injury because it happened in CPS care. Just today, the caseworker was like, it's not an infection because it happened in our care. But yet they text me during court, well, by the way, your daughter's been on medication, and it's upsetting, and it's abusive. And I have the text message proof. You know, we will make sure the Constitution and its amendments do not apply to you and your family. And I, it's hard. So thank you for letting me be on your show.
Baby girl, it's an honor that actually to have you on my show, and honest to God, as God is my witness, I hear a lot of stories, Angel, daily, and I find myself crying with parents on the phone. And I work long hours for a reason because I try my best to call everybody that calls me. However, this what you're telling me, it man, this is horrible. This is horrible, you guys. This is horrible. This is really horrible. Because see, they do this to a lot of good mothers, Angel. A lot of good mothers. I had a guy that said, "Well, fathers are victims too." Yes, some fathers are victims, But that's only if the father is with mom.
Correct.
And that's it. But if the father is the abuser and he's away from the mother, they give the children to the abuser. And I see this happen 92% of the time. Okay. But why do they do that? Because when you're demonic inside, when you're dark inside, you don't want to see love. You don't want to see reunification, right? So what they do,
Correct.
they give the child to the parent that's abusing them. And then,
Correct.
yeah,
And then they know, the bruises and the lacerations and the filth stains and the weight loss and the hunger cries. It doesn't bother them. She says, I know you're hungry. Shut up. Now you're not eating. And this is the caseworker. And they documented the weight loss. And it's like, it doesn't matter if he loses 30, he's already lost 30. It doesn't matter how much weight he loses. It'll never be considered abusive and neglectful because CPS is the ones doing it. And it's not logical, and they hurt the family by hurting the children, and the family's like, we're powerless. And the more we um, the more we try to help the children, the more they hurt the children, and it'll never be hurt, no matter how big the laceration is. And then, like in my case, they tell, the courts, oh, mother's having a delusion of a laceration, when it's not a delusion, it's real life, and they know this, and it's psychological games, and the children are hurt, and they don't see it as hurt. They say, you're a liar, you're not hurt, and then they get injured for expressing their feelings.
wow. But yet, when a child says, so basically, when a child says, I have a good mommy, that child is a liar. But when a child says, mommy beats me, that means the child is saying the truth. And the social workers say, children never lie. That's what social
That's,
workers think. Yeah. They say
yeah,
children never lie.
yes.
See how they contradict themselves? They contradict themselves, but yet they, like I said, they put, I just, and not one freaking judge stand up to what is right. Not one, Angel, not one. And that's how disgusting they are. Disgusting. They are disgusting. I have another group, another parent that had her kids taken from her. She goes to the same church as I do. Her kids were taken from her on Thanksgiving Day. Not because of neglect, right? Because the ex-husband decided to get off child support, so he reported his ex-wife, right? He told the social worker that she does drugs. That woman doesn't even drink wine or alcohol or beer. I have known her for 32 years. Okay. Her house is spotless. Her refrigerator is full all the time. I literally sometimes go eat at her house because I'm like, okay, let's eat together tonight. She cooks all the time. Refrigerator is full. Do you understand what full? She has one in the living room and one in the garage. Two refrigerators. You can't walk in with your shoes. She has little slips that you have to slip on your shoes if you don't want to take your shoes off. That's how clean she is. Yet, the abuser father wants to get out of child support. And it's not even much. He's only giving her $500 a month, right? But he had to report that she uses drugs, right, in front of the kids so they can take the kids from her. And guess where the kids are now? The kids are with him. And guess what? She's paying him child support.
Yeah, someone gave me like, so I don't do drugs. Um, I've never had heroin in my system, never any of that. I'm not an alcoholic. I never have been. I drink wine occasionally, New Year's, and they have the nerve to have me in a program that I don't qualify for. And the program is like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's like giving insulin to somebody who's not a diabetic.
What
I
program is that?
it's a power program, and it helps people, detox off of like opioids and all of that.
Are
And
you kidding me? No.
nope,
Why,
and
why am I shocked? Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, and I don't do those drugs, and so I'm in a program to stop doing drugs that I've never done, and it's documented that way. It's all documented correctly. They were like, "You're not addicted to drugs, so why are you in treatment to stop doing drugs that you don't do?" And
Well, let me
that's
tell
what
you
I'm
why.
doing. And
But wait,
I
let
do
me tell you why though.
and I do
Wait.
intensive outpatient therapy over and over and over again because the kids were removed off of false allegations that I'm not showing up to IOP class that CYF enrolled me in when the truth is I never missed an IOP class. So I do this class, I successfully complete it. They tell the courts that I didn't do it, I do it over, I successfully complete it, and they keep lying to the courts, and it's a fraudulent activity where people, it's a waste of money. They know it. I even have court papers saying this is fraudulent. And then they even threatened if the kids are returned.
Can't hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. CYF threatened in court papers.
No, can't hear you. Can't hear you. Yeah.
That's okay.
The sound is bad, baby. Okay, guys. So she said, Angel was saying that they have her do classes, drug rehab and all this stuff. However, she doesn't do drugs. Do you know why they do that? Because they want to have it on your record. So they can take that record, that paper, and shows it to the foster parent and say, look, the mother is doing her drug rehab classes, meaning the mother is hooked on drugs. There's so many foster parents who actually believe the lies that the social workers tell them. They believe the lies because the social worker says, look, the mother's doing a rehab class. She's on drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was having technical problems. I had to log off and log back in, but I wanted to let you know I have court paperwork that says if at any time the children are reunited with their family and mother, me, they will immediately re-traumatize the kids with another emergency custody, verbal warrant, verbal court order, and do this all over again, and it will be fraudulent. A waste of fraudulent funds.
So you mean to tell me that if the kids are reunified with you, it would be traumatizing for them? Is that what I heard? Because it's hard for me to hear.
The court order says if at any time the kids, if the courts, they threaten the court saying if the courts gave me my children back, they will immediately re-traumatize the children and place another emergency custody order to remove them.
Oh my God.
So then they told the courts, they said, you don't want to return the children home just for the trauma to happen all over again, do you? Then don't return the children home. Or because if you do, we will immediately get another emergency custody order and re-traumatize them. So CPS has even threatened the courts. But these are some people that
they don't threaten the courts, honey. They're all in cahoots together. They're all in cahoots together. They just want it in writing. How in the name of God are they going to threaten a judge when the judge makes the ultimate decision?
It's just really,
CPS are pieces of shit. Okay? That's all they are. They're pieces of shit. And I actually told one of my friends, I said to her, I said, piece of shit actually has more value than a CPS worker. You know what I mean? It actually has value. The scum of the earth has value than a social worker. A skunk has value than a social worker. A snake has better value than a social worker. Need I say more? Social
yes,
worker
it's
is
true, and it's sad, and it's evil, and it's corrupt, and um like, it's sad because I made the mistake. I reached out to them for their supportive services. They took advantage of that and stabbed me in the back and was like, well, you asked for this, blah, blah, blah. And you're abusive and neglectful because of what's going to happen in the future. And in the meantime, I can't stop, you know, my child from losing weight and being neglected, and the, he's crying every day. He's even had an escape plan, and they've all been begging to come home. And
I know.
then we have CPS like, the children are liars. The mother, you know, we're helping her. She, like, I can't even speak because I'm muted in the courtroom. And while the family is suffering, um, there's a picture that they're helping the family, and they text me, we're helping you, we're strengthening your family. And it's like, no, you're destroying the family, you've separated the family. And
Strengthening
yes,
the family? How are they strengthening the family if they stole your kids from you? And they brainwash your kids to tell them your mom didn't want to show up today for the visit, or your mom doesn't want to come to the visit. Believe me, that's what they're telling your kids. That's why they should not be allowed to speak to any child without a camera, without an not an audio recording, but they have to have a camera, just like the police officers wear body cameras. They cannot, they should not be allowed to speak to anyone, including children, without having their body cam on. They should not be allowed, right, to submit any false allegations without evidence attached to it that is provided via body cam. Because only
yes,
a body camera will confirm what is written in that freaking piece of shit report that they create. Only if there's evidence that the judge should consider, but not if there's no evidence. This judge should not take one of their word. They should not, without evidence attached to what they're saying. All right. I'm not an attorney, Angel, but I don't need to be an attorney to have common sense. And the judges should do their job. They should do their freaking job that they took upon themselves, right? To educate themselves. But what I have not, what I have realized is that judges become judges for money. It's all about money. It's all about, it's nothing but corruption. Money, money, money. That's all it is. Money. Everything is
yes,
money. Yeah.
yes. So thank you so much for having me on your show. And
Thank you, Angel.
I can't wait until you speak with me personally. There's a lot more corruption. It'll shock you. And I thank you for allowing me on the show. Thank you.
I'm just really, I get really angry, Angel. I'm so sorry, but I get frustrated with all this. I'm so sorry you're going through this, Angel. Okay.
Thank you.
So go ahead and text me. Grace has my number. Just have Grace give it to you and just text me your name. So I know who you are. And then I will definitely give you a call back. I'll save you to my phone. I'll give you a call back. But I'm usually busy on Monday through Friday, because I have calls to make appointments. However, I will call you between my appointments if that's okay with you, and then we'll go from there. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
My pleasure. God bless you, Angel. All right.
Thank you.
Maria, who asked me? Someone asked me. Okay, here we go. Maria, I have my cell number. If you can just message me on Facebook, um, Georgette Truan, just message me your number, and I will definitely text you my information. Okay, and then we'll make an appointment to discuss what it is that you need to speak with me about. All right, guys, we're actually past our time. Please join me tonight for Relatives Fight CPS at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you guys for joining me. God bless you. Seriously, for every parent that's dealing with this corruption, and it's unbelievable and yet believable, because I really see nothing good about them. I don't see anything good about our government. Usually, I'm serious. For those of you that know me, I speak my mind regardless. I don't bow down to no one except my God. That's it. Those who know me know that's who I am. But yet, we have a government officials that take pleasure in abusing their power. They take pleasure in abusing their power. No one should have that much power. No one should have that much power. So, Maria, wait, where are you, Maria? Um, Type in Georgette Truan, Georgette, and the last name Truin. Here it is. So you can type in my name, and if you're not my friend on Facebook, and just send me an invite, okay? And I will accept your invite. All right, guys. Again, join me tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Relatives Fight CPS. For those of you that's an aunt, an uncle, a older sibling, and you're trying to get your, your niece or nephews back or what have you, please don't hesitate to message me and let me know if you want to be on that show. And I'll be happy to send your information to Grace, which is the show producer. Okay. Again, I love you guys, and thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you guys soon.